Cubs head to Milwaukee to take on the Brewers. They got a 2-game lead, and this is another one of those litmus test series for the Cubs. Can they handle the teams in their division? Something that I didn't think they did a good enough job last year of doing. Win now. Yep. Cubs are in win now mode. What does that mean? What positions are they looking for, and what would it take to get those guys to help this team gear up for a run in the postseason and maybe to win the league? Also, how about Paul Skenes? No hit us last year. It was tough every time we saw him. It was fun watching the Cubs drop bombs on him today. All right, say a thank you. And thank you guys for being here. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Let's get the Cubs Baseball Channel show started. I'm Mick Gillespie. Let's go. What do you say, everybody? Mick Gillespie, Cubs Baseball Channel, and it is great to see you guys today. Paul Skenes, this isn't even the headline, but Paul Skenes getting rocked by the Cubs was great. I know he pitched well, but hey, ran into a buzzsaw with those 3 home runs, including back-to-back jacks. Good to see Kyle Tucker doing his thing. And Seiya Suzuki, I mean, come on, man. This guy's getting it done. Hey, Tucker brings so much confidence to this lineup every day. He's a difference maker. He is truly one of the big stars in Major League Baseball. And we'll reiterate it constantly. This is the kind of guy you give the big contract to. And he's turned the Cubs into one of the best offenses. I think a lot of things are coming together like a perfect storm. You know, some experience for Pete Crow Armstrong, Michael Busch, Miguel Amaya. And then Seiya Suzuki having somebody in the lineup to help him out with the power. I love what I'm seeing right now. Cubs are in win now mode. And I heard Bruce Levine, a guy that we've known for a long time, on the Score talking about that, basically said that, you know, he feels like the Cubs may be saying that Matt Shaw's going to be the guy at third base, but he thinks behind the scenes they're going, hey, we got to get a third baseman. And that could be really true. And here's what he said they were targeting, and I agree with him. Third base, relievers or a reliever, and then a starter. But the bottom line is, who in the crap in baseball isn't looking for this? Maybe not the third baseman, but everybody's looking for a better reliever and a starter. I mean, that's the way that this game works on a daily basis. And I've been covering baseball for a long time. Every year teams want that. They want a reliever and they want a starter. So the Cubs are just among every other team out there looking for some help. Now, I will say this. They had a third baseman and they traded him. And now they're kind of in a spot where, you know, they don't know what to do. Okay. And I guess for the time being, you know, you got Birdie, you got Lopez, Brujan, you know, those 3 guys there. You need to figure out what to do until you get a solution, which I think is going to eventually be Shaw. I don't think Shaw got the bat knocked out of his hands. He played in 18 games and he was trying to figure it out, but they're not patient right now because this front office is either on the hot seat or they might have been told already they're not coming back. I mean, you don't know how things go behind the scenes, but there's definitely an air of desperation that I love because these guys aren't going to sit back and wait. They're going after it right now, and it's win now mode. And so I wouldn't be surprised if the Cubs didn't make a deal for a third baseman. I think they'll try to get a reliever. I think they would love to get a starter, and I think they'll make the moves to get it. You just wonder what moves those would be. And then if your ownership, you know, how many of these moves are you going to let them make, knowing that you might not bring them back next year, and you don't want them mortgaging the future to try to save their butts. And what I mean by that, are you going to trade Moises Ballesteros, who's like destroying AAA? Are you going to trade Owen Casey, who has the potential to be a next level superstar? Are you gonna trade Cade Horton, which I don't think they would. I think he's going to be in the big leagues. And then, how much are you, going to allow them to block Matt Shaw from getting the experience? So it's a balance between development and then obviously winning, but they don't have any time for development anymore. It's time to win. This is going to hurt the Cubs long-term because you would love to be doing both. They can't do both. And they have a really old roster because of that. But at the same time, hey, it's fun winning every day. I mean, it's fun going out there and having a team that can compete and win. And we're seeing that, the way that this team's played this year. So it's just some things to talk about. I don't really have like targets for you because I don't think teams are at the point yet where they're willing to give up their best, players, for prospects until they know that they're not going to make it. But I think Bruce is right on the money when it comes to them saying out publicly, hey, we're waiting on Matt Shaw, when we all know behind the scenes, they're like, hey, if we can get a third baseman, let's do it. Last year, Paul Skenes pitched against the Cubs, and we just looked like a bunch of little leaguers. I mean, we couldn't hit him. The guy he didn't even know how to pitch in the big leagues, and he was getting Cubs out. So it was so refreshing watching the Cubs hit those 3 home runs off of him and him taking the L on getaway day in Pittsburgh, right? The morning baseball game, which I love. I'm fine with that. Absolutely great to see. And Kyle Tucker has been so good for this Cubs team, and he's made such a difference. But I'm telling you, the guy that's benefited the most is Seiya Suzuki, because he doesn't have to play the outfield a whole lot. He just gets the bat, and then he's got him in the lineup protecting him. One way or the other, those two guys now are becoming a tandem. And Tucker is doing things that we haven't seen since the great Hall of Famer Andre Dawson, the Hawk, and Suzuki's feeding off of it. Two more home runs in the game. Seiya's just been fantastic, and I'm pretty excited about the offense right now for this Cubs team because Michael Busch is getting better every day. There's a ton of pressure on the catchers to get it done because Moises Ballesteros is like a hit machine in Iowa, and the Cubs would love to bring him up if they had a spot for him. Dansby Swanson's going to have to hit home runs because, obviously the hits and being on base aren't going the way that we want it to right now. But the home runs, hey, we'll take them, and if that's his contribution and they have to put him in the 8-hole, but he hits some bombs, you win with home runs, which is great. But I love Paul Skenes. I think he's a great player. He's good for the game. And I enjoyed watching the Cubs beat him around the yard in that game. So at least in that inning, and then win the game. Bullpen stepped up. Bring on the Brew Crew. These are important games to me. And I'm gonna tell you why. The Cubs struggled so mightily last year against the teams in their division at times. I think if you go back and look at it, it's not too bad. But when the games really counted and the Cubs were in the mix, because I don't think they were at the mix at the end of the year, they were getting beaten by those teams. And one of those teams that has been just a thorn in the Cubs side has been the Milwaukee Brewers. So tonight they take on the Brewers. Quinn Priester going for the Milwaukee Brewers, a 1-0 record, 4 starts, and a 3.79 ERA, an Illinois native. And then the Cubs are going to counter with Ben Brown. And this is a big outing for Brown. I'm not sold on him yet. 2-2, a 6.04 ERA. We've seen him look really good this year, and we've seen him struggle this year. I think the Cubs are at a spot with this rotation where if it's not Brown, it might be Cade Horton. And maybe you do something else with Brown. But the last time out, he didn't look good. Craig Counsell was quick to say he's got to do better. I don't think he was trying to pick on Brown, and I put added pressure on him. I think he's saying, hey, you got one of these starting rotation spots. Now you got Chris Flexen up there, Colin Ray, obviously Shota Imanaga, Jameson Tyone, and Matthew Boyd. And then, with Flexen, there's a spot. If Brown's not going to go out there and get it done, and he may be better in the bullpen anyway. But this to me is a big series in Milwaukee, or as a lot of us call it, Wrigley North, and I hope that the Cubs go out there and just continue to do what they've done. And honestly, they've been so consistent with the way that they've played. So another 3-game set against a divisional opponent. Then you got the Giants and the Mets and the Marlins and the White Sox. So it should be a stretch of teams that you can beat for the rest of this month. The hapless Rockies are in there. May is a much easier month to navigate for the Cubs than that awful April. And the Cubs came out of April and they did really, really well. And they start May off with a dub. So anyway, that's where we are right now. Thank you guys for obviously supporting the channel. This is going to be a fun season, it feels like. Some of you guys are like, hey, you keep saying, I don't know. I'm like Harry Carey. I might mispronounce the name. I might get somebody's first name wrong. I don't know. That's who I grew up watching. So don't hold that against me. If I make a mistake, you know who I'm talking about. So just for you guys that have been here since day one, forgive me. If I say Justin instead of Kyle, I meant Kyle. Sundberg, Sandberg. Hey, come on. Anyway, love you guys. Get in the comments section. Love to read the comments. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Thank you for being part of the channel. And we'll do it again, man. We'll do it again tomorrow if you guys want. Let's go get a dub. Love that idea. Hey, have a great day.